Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another crypto video, and today we're going to be covering Vechain VET, which is by far one of my favorite crypto. And I've noticed I've been stocking up on this crypto for the last couple of weeks, yet I saw a couple of comments asking me why. And why I'm so excited about it, why I'm buying so much, and why the price keeps going down even though Vechain keeps developing. So today, I want to tell you guys exactly why I just bought myself a ton of VET, what I'm expecting in terms of price, and basically why I'm so excited about the project. So I think the first thing we should quickly do is take a little bit of a look at what Vechain really is. Now, long story short, Vechain began in 2015 as a private consortium chain. Vechain now aims to distribute governance and Internet of Things technologies to create an ecosystem which solves major data hurdles for multiple global industries, from medical to energy, food and beverage to sustainability, and SDG goals. By leveraging the power of trustless data, Vechain is building the digital backbone that will underpin the fourth industrial revolution, which demands real-time and trustless data sharing between many participants. Now, the platform uses two tokens, VET and VTHO, to manage and create value based on its Vechain Tor public blockchain. VET generates VTHO and acts as a store of value and value transfer medium. VTHO is used to pay for gas costs, separating the need to expend VET when writing data. Now, this is the additional benefit of ensuring cost of using the network can be kept stable by tweaking certain variables such as the amount of VTHO required to service a transaction, or by increasing the VTHO generation rate, or geniation, they write there, but generation. Such actions first require all stakeholder community votes, and Vechain has been able to demonstrate massively boosted efficiency, traceability, and transparency across data rails, supply chains, and within novel kinds of ecosystems, such as those in San Marino, targeting UN SDGs, among others. So, if you didn't understand fully, in my own words, what they basically do is they take a company, let's say, for example, a Louis Vuitton. It could be any company, it doesn't really matter. They look at a specific problem in terms of supply chain or authenticity, and they try to work something out that uses this blockchain technology. Now, one of the key examples we're going to talk about in just a second, there's actually a ton of them, to be honest with you, because there's a full list of just different partnerships that Vechain has. But there's one specific partnership here over at the top that Vechain is basically working with to create more. And let's quickly check this out. So, DNVGL and Vechain are partnered up, and DNVGL will provide Vechain's blockchain-powered services to their huge customer base. Next to this, DNVGL and Vechain have developed My Story, a digital assurance solution for the food and beverages industry based on audits and data collection. Now, that whole story goes quite a significant amount further, and what Vechain also has is a basically joint venture is Vechain's toolchain. And what that allows is basically for any new company to hop on in and use Vechain's services as a service. It might sound strange, but it's basically BAAS, blockchain as a service, or SaaS, supply chain as a service, where they can basically make their company more efficient or upgraded without any knowledge of actually how to do that, because again, that's a service that they offer. But what does that mean? Well, this specific My Story, for example, what they do through that is they take a specific product, like for example, wine, and they make sure that once you check that QR code or whatever is implemented in there, that it goes all the way back to where the frickin' grape came from. All right, you retrace that back as far as you want to. It just basically, it's a way to give a story to a specific item in that sense. But you can kind of fetch this further with medicine, for example, and so forth and so on. Now, a couple of people I actually saw were basically given the argument of what if this or what if that. And to be honest with you, there's still a couple of flaws that I still have not figured out, in the sense that this entire story is based upon trustless trust, which kind of sounds stupid, but that's the way it is. But the big problem that I personally have not figured out just quite yet, and that I want you guys in the comment section for. By the way, if you're holding Vechain, just put it down below in the chat box. Just say, like, yeah, I'm holding Vechain or something like that down below in the comment section, and make sure you press the like button on this video. But if you guys know about this, one of the questions I saw was Vechain does really amazing in supply chain. They make it so that if you, for example, have specific Nike shoes, that there's a specific QR on there that will make it so that once you scan it, you'll be able to verify the specific item. And some of the guys actually asked me, okay, but what if they just rip the tag off and literally put it to something else, or in theory copy it? Now, I don't actually have the perfect answer to that, because when we're talking about trustless systems, you can basically trust that the authentication will be correct in the sense that the result that you get will be right. However, that does not mean that the thing which the QR is based upon can be verified, right? At least I haven't really figured out exactly how that's going to work. I think as of this point, we're mostly talking about just supply chain in the sense of where something came from, how exactly far away it is, how long it's going to take, and all that stuff, rather than authentication, as I think there's a couple additional layers that attach to it. As, again, I can see the potential of being able to kind of mess up that system a little bit. But we saw that recently with like an Adidas or Nike partnership. I believe it was Adidas that they had before. And again, you can look for yourself through this list. They're also partnered with Walmart China, BMW, Renault, just most major companies out there. They also have some official connections to the Chinese government. We've talked about that a couple of times throughout the last couple of months, basically, that's some meetings over in Singapore. But they have so much more, guys. They have so much more. They're partnered up with basically everybody. And even this year, I think they've done quite a lot, but I don't think this website updates for every single partnership that they have. So that's kind of like a background for what it is. So now, why are we excited for the near future? Guys, if you didn't know, I've actually made multiple different videos throughout the last couple of years about why I'm so excited about Vechain. Here's, for example, one of my latest videos about Vechain buying. I bought 1 million VET. I think it's about 1.5 years ago, and I think we did it twice. Here's another video where we did it as well. Vechain will overtake ETH by the Vechain CEO. Pretty excited about it. There's been multiple videos where I was pretty ecstatic about things. And a fun fact, guys, is that I've actually not often bought Vechain above half a cent. So right now, whenever I'm buying, right, we're still at 10x the price that I bought the majority of my VET. But to be honest with you, I think it's like 30x or so my average Vechain price, as I've been a holder since it was Ven. If you don't know what I'm talking about here, it was in this little earlier story. In 2017, they switched from being ERC20 Ven to launching their own mainnet with the ticker VET. Wow, time flies when you're a crypto, guys. Really, it does. However, so I've been buying for quite a significant amount of time. There's a couple of things which we look for when we're investing that might give us a crazy yield. And for Vechain, one of the main reasons we're going for it right now is partially because they solve a really easy to see problem. Partially because we know they have real world adoption, know they have crazy partnerships, so they're like solid in the same sense that HBAR has solid real world adoption, and we know they're going to basically pull through. It's another, I guess, little pick. There's a couple of potentials, like a Grayscale or Coinbase listing. Vechain price prediction. What would a Grayscale listing mean for the VET crypto? What just happened recently is Coinbase basically said, hey, we're looking into launching multiple different coins, and all of a sudden, Grayscale considered Vechain and IOTA as Coinbase list for low cap. They basically said, hey, we're grabbing the little list of coins right here, Vechain being one of them, that could eventually be added to Grayscale services. And you got to remember, guys, I've told you all this before. If it turns out that Vechain does get added to Grayscale, there's going to be a crazy pump. Then again, the more that Vechain gets added to different sectors here, the higher the likelihood that it's going to get listed on Coinbase too. And the moment that that does, we've at least doubled our money. But there's something to add to that. You can actually see for Vechain that the price is down quite a significant amount over the last couple of weeks here. Over the year, it's still doing pretty good, but over the last couple of months, it's just been doing really, really bad. I want to quickly address there and say, I think Vechain is also one of those coins which is going to recoup significantly the moment that it does rise, and in a big bull run, they have such a crazy amount of potential to just break all limits. They're down from about 26 cents at the peak of the peak, 27 cents, which is a very significant amount of money, like 80% down. But I honestly believe that the gains are going to be so severe once we do get back in this bull run for Vechain, as the community is exciting, community is actually insane, and the excitement around this project is always there, it never numbs down. It's just that in times like this, people are more so going for the safer, higher price, higher cap options, and Vechain is kind of left behind. This is actually for most coins that are not in the top, I'm going to say 15 or so. They have less appeal right now, so they'll go down further as people are looking for safety. But I think Vechain is a longer-term safe crypto, if you ask me. Again, guys, these videos are not financial advice. Whenever I'm making a video, I portray my opinion, my thoughts, and what I think is smart. That does not mean that that's officially the best course of action, and that does not mean that it'll actually make you money. I just think it is a smart thing. All right, so Zweiberg here shared, Did you know that Vechain is partnering with DigiCard Key, and they're providing G owners of collectibles a way to provide the authenticity of their collectibles? Now, once more, guys, if there's at least as far as I know, this is a very nice initiative. It's very cool, but there's a couple of flaws with it still that I cannot think of. But I think it's honestly because of my limited mental capacity, to be honest with you. Because again, you got to remember, if you have a physical good, right? A physical good that you're trying to authenticate, basically, the only way in which this is possible is, I'm going to say, through some sort of code that's on this physical item. But if we can just literally copy the code, I mean, if the code can be read, I guess the only way in which this can kind of work is if the code, the QR code, whatever, changes it the whole time. But then still they could, for example, if the code is on the box, they could open the box, put a new card inside, and then, so what's going to happen exactly then? You know, I'm a little bit confused, because even though you might say, yeah, but they got the perfect seal. Well, there's definitely solutions to that as well for, for a person with ill intent. So I'm not exactly 100% sure how that's going to work. But I guess the initiative is nice, right? Because they're able to do that, and most likely they'll have some sort of way to make this valid. I just have not really dug deep enough to find that part of things. But I'm more so excited in the my story and things, the supply chain part, rather than the authenticating, which I guess comes into one another. But you guys get my drift. Now, there's a couple other things that Vechain is doing. They're also working very much so in the field of sustainability. So in a world where sustainability is becoming priority number one, Vechain's green qualities are key to mass adoption. How green? Its annual carbon emissions are equivalent to 2.4% of mining a single Bitcoin. So green, San Marino will use Vechain to become a carbon neutral nation. Like what? So Vechain is also doing a lot of different things on different sectors, basically. Here's a little initiative for Vechain and green NFTs. Vechain was highlighted in a recent journal article on the impact of NFTs on the environment. Consensus protocols like Vechain ought to be encouraged over the more polluting versions of the environmental grounds, which is really cool to read. You can see here why choose World of V to mint by NFTs here. Things are really looking good in that sense. I didn't really know too much about the Vechain NFT sector, but that's juicy. At least I'm excited about it. Sounds really quite amazing. Once more, guys, this video is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I've actually never had contact with any member from Vechain, unless I didn't know, but I don't believe I have ever had any contact with them. Just a holder that a holder who's pretty excited, I guess, to be involved with all of this, and I do see the potential. There's a couple other things which they're going for right now. Vechain is getting into DeFi, and as we've seen, guys, with Luna, Terra. Oh, I'm hearing police. You guys can't hear it. Sometimes I wonder exactly what you can hear in these videos and what I should cut out. For example, like what's too loud. Sometimes you can hear the crazy cars, and I'm thinking, you know what? It's not that big a deal, but when you hear some other crazy sounds sometimes, if you know what I mean, I'm thinking, from the neighbors or whatever. All right. Having said that, as we've seen with Terra, things can really pop off quite quickly, and there's quite a lot of good yields to be gotten. Vechain pretty recently got themselves, I believe, VUSD. I'm not exactly sure if that's the name or if it was USDV. But Sunny Liu is the guy who also announced it and also the founder and CEO of Vechain. He's also been sharing a lot of other things over on Twitter. Partially makes me believe he is really trying to expand things and get his critical thoughts out there just to basically stay level-headed and keep the people up to date. But guys, I'm so excited about the future in terms of DeFi as well. That's not really been explored just quite yet. One thing I learned today, the interpretation of strategy to be practical and execution able is as much important as the strategy itself. By the way, Vechain is hiring a lot of people starting from EU. If you believe in blockchain and crypto, join us, stay tuned. And I honestly do kind of, again, wonder what exactly type of people they're hiring, what exactly they're going to go for. But as I believe Vechain is going to get so big, yeah, it's just small steps towards the right direction. And I think that was actually it for our little Vechain update. So, yeah, what do I think in terms of price? Well, there's a couple of different reasons why the price will go up this significantly much. And you guys can already kind of draw it in. There's a couple of listing potentials, as it's not everywhere just quite yet. We have Grayscale, Coinbase, but also just, of course, normal exchanges. We have the fact that they have ever-increasing partnerships, government-level partnerships, look at China and San Marino, that will most likely keep expanding. They have a very easy-to-spot use case that's already literally being put to use, so there's no question in that sense. And again, since they have the government-level partnerships, the exit scam type of scenarios are, in my own opinion, ridiculously small. And from that perspective, it's a very low risk for complete loss of money. There is, of course, a risk of the price going down further, as people do not necessarily want it right now or anything along those lines. but I see the upside potential as way higher. And I honestly believe that the token is quite undervalued for the reasons I just specified, as there's just so much potential in the short/medium term here that can actually happen. And so I'm going pretty heavy on Vechain, not gonna lie to you. I'm going pretty heavy on it. I cannot suggest whatever you would do, but I am telling you, check the project out for yourself and then decide for yourself. Don't just follow me. Go out and look up for yourself whether or not it sounds like a good crypto. And I'm going to be holding it at least until $10, which might take tens of years, who knows. But I remember when it was at 20 whatever cents or so, I think it was like 17 cents or so. And I remember just thinking, wow, if it goes to $1, I'll have, I think 500x my money or so on the crypto, at least. And I would not even be satisfied with that because I still think it's quite undervalued, which is kind of funny. So Vechain $1, I literally think that could happen within 1 year if we do get in a big bull run again. And if we don't get in a big bull run again, you guys already know my hedging strategy, right? I told you guys about that yesterday in a video. But generally speaking, I really I'm looking forward to that $4 mark and then slowly itching towards $10 over the next years and years and years. I don't think that will happen really anytime soon, but that's my end goal and I have it in my vision. So yeah, I don't have any justification for that though, guys. It's just my thoughts and my plan and what I have in my head. But let's stick to the more critical and closer piece, which is of course $1. Let's hope it's going to happen within a year or so. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today. If you want more of these, let me know down below what coin you'd like to see. And I'll see you guys again in another one.